Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello.
Today we're going to be showing you, well, this is supposed to be an unboxing video, but for complicated reasons we can't really do it as an unboxing video, so instead we're going to do it as a this is what you get in the box video. So we're going to be doing Polish, which is part of our new army project, which should be quite a good one when we get around to actually doing it all properly. But anyway, here we are. This is the Warlord Games Polish Infantry World War II Early War Polish box set. In this box set you get a 24-man platoon, which is quite cool. Basically it consists theoretically of 3 sections of riflemen with sergeant, 3 corporals, 14 riflemen and 1 soldier with a Browning automatic rifle, and a 5-man command squad of an NCO with 2 rifles, a soldier with a WZ-35 anti-tank rifle. So that's the simple version. So yeah, that's where we're starting. I've already painted these guys up. We've got 2 boxes of them, and the idea was to have do one unboxing box and then do another video of them being painted up, but the unboxing box didn't work out.
We should have done this one as one we already did, and the other one has the one we're unboxing.
Yeah, but I already painted these up, so it doesn't matter. Anyway,
we weren't expecting such a corrupted video.
Yeah. So basically, we have these guys here. You can see the troops, I think, quite well. Yeah. Right, so I'll just show you around the chaps that you've got. Right, we have, first of all, the Browning automatic rifle, which is this chap here. He's laid down firing the rifle. Then you get a load of riflemen, which are all the guys at the back. I'm going to do some close-ups in a minute. Then you get the anti-tank team over there, and you get a medic and a guy with what I assume is a camera. It looks like a camera. I've seen cameras from the period that do look like that. It could also be a radio. Yeah, but unfortunately the people can't see it now.
It's a radio.
Yeah. But I've heard some people say they think it's a camera.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It looks like a radio.
And to me it looks like a handheld...
No, have you seen Blackadder?
Yes, I've seen Blackadder.
And
I hope you're not judging your wargaming projects on something that's fictional.
No. Blackadder, and he has a radio on his back.
Yeah.
That's where he is, just at the front.
Well, yeah, so it could be a radio. I'm not really sure. I don't know what it is, to be honest. But we'll move along. There's the officer, who is awesome, and sergeant. So that is the unit as a whole, and now I'm going to go through a much better close-up detail of each one. So this is a nice close-up of the riflemen that you get in the box. I think these guys are absolutely gorgeous, and they really are nice figures.
And they're all made out of lead?
Yeah, when you see them sometimes in photographs, they look a bit like the heads are out of shape and stuff, but when I got them out of the box, they're actually really, really nice figures. So these are the main poses that you get with the riflemen. They're all quite nicely done. I've done them all in khaki with a lighter fabric for the cross belts and all that sort of stuff, and the leather pouches are in a light tan leather. And I'll turn the figures around and you can see the rest of the kit to the rear. They have a bedroll, which was usually a slightly darker shade than the normal uniform colour, uniform khaki, and you have the gas mask and the equipment pack just there. So it all was quite good. It's they're very nice. They've also got
detail.
Yeah, they've also got a entrenching tool. I have one of those, and it looks exactly like the one that I've got. The one in the box upstairs.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the one that you couldn't figure out how it opened up.
Don't talk about.
Yeah. So they're really nice figures. They have over shields over the top of the shoes, which I've done in a khaki with, some have got a brown strap and some have got a cloth strap because they basically use the stuff that they could get their hands on. So that's basically the riflemen. They're carrying the standard rifle used by the Polish army, which is a version of the K98, I believe. They did also use a few Enfields knocking around. They're quite nice little figures. What do you think about them?
I think they're fine detail, and I think I like the stances.
They look quite actiony.
They're actually doing something rather than, because normally you get companies that just do the exact same thing, like aiming. They're all aiming. Nothing really creative. This one actually is pretty creative.
Yeah.
Running, reloading, aim to fire. Pretty cool.
I like the guys who are shooting. They're quite cool. It would have been nice to have a few guys kneeling. I think
the closest got to kneeling is this guy over here.
Yeah, he's sort of running forwards. But no, they're nice. We'll move on to the next figures. So here we have the Bar anti-tank rifle. I believe it was an illegally made BAR, Browning automatic rifle. They copied it from the original Browning and made it in Poland. So I have been informed. So that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should ban them from using it in the game. So no, you copied that, can't use it. The British did the same with some of the American bits and bobs. Right, we have the bar there. The guy's laying on the floor, which is why I thought it would be nice if it would be a kneeling guy, because the bar is a team, isn't it?
Yeah.
I believe in the rules. I've got a rule book to hand. But the bar is actually fires as a team, just like a light machine gun, so you don't really have a teammate to operate the bar. So it would have been nice to have someone kneeling with a rifle or something. That would have been...
Yeah, that's what we said, just for the rifleman.
Yeah, it would have been good, that. Then we have the anti-tank team. This is the guy here. He's got a pair of binoculars in his hand, looking for a tank, and he's carrying the anti-tank rifle on his back. We've also got the the laying version of the anti-tank team.
Oh yeah.
We haven't painted it yet, and that's really nice. I like that. The holder for the barrel is separate, just like this one. And then we have a guy, I presume is a corporal. He's got all the same kit as the regular infantry, and he's just there with his really cool little Kapechka hat. It is the Kapechka, isn't it?
No idea.
Or is that the Russian, Napoleonic one? I can't remember. Or is that the Russian one? Oh no, the Russians have two. Oh, never mind. Oh, I'm confusing myself. They've got the little weird... it's like a cheese board hat. You know the cheese board hat you wear when you go to university?
It's been banned now, not is it?
It has! Yeah. Actually, yes, they've actually banned... Britain has banned students with cheese board hats.
When they throw it in the air, because it hurts people.
When you graduate, you throw the hat in the air. And I'll tell you,
yes, I have completed it, finally.
Yeah, I've got an opinion on this, see? Because when you actually do throw it in the air, they never come back down on people's heads, because you throw them and they fly off into the distance. Right?
Yeah.
So now they've banned UK students from having the cheese board hat. Instead, they have to hold their hand up as if they're throwing it, and they CGI in the hats in the air.
It's not just because it hits them, it's because when it flies off, they pay so much money for that.
Oh yeah, if it gets damaged,
you might want it back.
Yeah, because you've got to rent it. if it gets a knock in the corner, you lose your deposit.
You're finished.
No,
finished university.
You lose your deposit if it gets damaged. So you're not allowed to wear it. You just put it on just for the ceremony. Spend 2 hours doing ceremony, and then after that, you quickly put it in a bag and take it back to the shop.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I'll make that. I would fall asleep by then.
Basically, you just sit there bored while each individual person gets called out to collect his diploma. Basically.
Each single person.
Yeah, each single person. It's boring. It's really boring. But luckily there's a pub across the road usually, depending on which university you go to. You just fall into the pub and you're fine. And then you can nurse all the injuries you've got from all the cheese board hats falling from the sky, braining you and cutting your arm open and stuff.
And they actually flew off into the distance.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that's the cheese board hat he's wearing on his head. We went off on one. We stopped doing that. We've got to concentrate on doing the videos properly.
No, we shouldn't.
No.
That's what makes the videos fun.
Well, possibly. I don't think people want to know about people's experiences at university. Right, so here you have the cheese board hat, which is I love the polished hat. These figures you can actually use for the earlier wars as well, because they just started using the helmet in 1920, I think. That's when they started designing their own helmet. Before then they used the German helmet, because Poland was part of Germany. So after but bear in mind, Poland was pretty much occupied for most of the First World War, so Poland was German, and so when the Germans pulled out of Poland used a lot of German equipment, and then they designed their own helmet, which is this helmet, which is very similar, if not the same, as the Danish helmet. Came around about the same time. So you can use these for the war of 21-22 against Russia. Not all of them. I don't think you can use anti-tank rifle and stuff, or the bar, but you could use the rest of the infantry for that war. Although some of the uniforms would have been a bit ad hoc. There'd have been a few guys in original German uniform, there'd have been some in all sorts of uniform, but yeah. So you can use them for that. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. Russia invaded Poland in the 1920s, and Poland won. So there you go. On to the next ones. Oh, I haven't finished yet. Oh, right. The bar, the BAR, that's a standard bar basically. The bar fires 2 dice instead of 1, and it's quite useful. I'll just see if I can. One of these has the bolt action rule on it.
I don't think it does.
You know what? I think it's upstairs, isn't it? Yeah, that's disgusting. Right, so it's in the wrong. We're in the gaming room at the moment, and we should have all our gaming books on the shelf. Unfortunately, they appear to be upstairs. So.
Personally, I think we should have all our game books in, like here.
Yeah, we will do when we get it on.
Not in the drawers in the far corner.
Yeah, the drawers. The idea. Never mind. We're sidetracked.
Oh, I've seen that, haven't I?
Right, now we have a slightly better close-up of these chaps. Right, just checking the rules. I was wrong. It isn't a team. The Browning automatic rifle doesn't use team. I thought it did, off the top of my head. I haven't got any armies that have Brownings, so this is the first time we've got where it uses Brownings, therefore I just assumed it was like a light machine. In fact, a bit like a light machine gun. So now it fires 2 shots, range of 30 inches, no penetration, which is okay. The American Browning, I think, did fire armor piercing ammo, but
it's Polish.
This is Polish. Yeah, but it was a copy of the American version.
Yeah, they might not have access to armor piercing ammo.
Yeah, they did. They had anti-tank rifles.
Sort of judging warlord games.
Yeah, I'm not judging. But yeah, Brownings actually fired armor piercing ammo, so who cares? Who gives it? I don't care. Do you care?
No.
No.
I don't.
Now we get on to the anti-tank rifle. Range 36 inches, penetration of +2. That's quite good. Actually, no, it's rubbish, but it's quite good when you're up against light tanks and tankettes, which Poland mostly was. 1 shot, and that is team, so you need 2 people for that. Which I did know because I've got anti-tank rifles in all my bolt-action armies. Just not Brownings. I don't think anyone else seemed to really use Brownings.
Japanese do.
No, they never had a Browning.
Didn't they?
I don't think they had an automatic rifle, no. I'm trying to think.
I wouldn't know, because I spend most of the time shouting at you.
Yeah, Arasaka rifle, standard light machine gun, can't remember his name.
I hear the Arasaka rifle. Is that the rifle where you shoot 1 bullet and then you do the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got... the Arasaka's actually quite good. Oriska. Is it Oriska or Arasaka? I know you pronounce it.
It's Arasaka. Arasaka.
Yeah, that's quite a good rifle. But it's rugged. It's designed to be really rugged. But there's two versions of it. There's the early version, which was actually quite good and it didn't tend to jam. And then there was the later version, which was a really shoddy, badly put together rifle, and they used to fall apart in battle. You know, you'd take aim and yeah, and the barrel would fall off.
Everything's falling off. Fix your gun while the enemy's shooting you.
Yeah, so if it's Arisaka made after 1943, don't buy it. It's a waste of money, and there's loads of them on the market, so you've probably been ripped off. But get the earlier one, definitely. If you find one of them in a sale, get one. They're brilliant rifles. So not if you live in England, because it's illegal, of course. Because in England, only criminals are allowed to have guns.
Depends if it goes to black market or not.
Yeah, you didn't just say that. I don't know what you're talking about. No, basically, I would assume they buy them from...
Isn't that where criminals get guns from?
Yeah, that's in Grand Theft Auto, so I don't know.
I don't play Grand Theft Auto. I really don't play Grand Theft Auto.
No, you can get trading shows. You can go to trading shows, pick up rifles and stuff, but you have to have them deactivated if you live in England.
Yeah, yours is deactivated.
Mine's deactivated, yeah. I had to get a little certificate with them. And the police wanted to look at it and make sure it didn't work. It's funny because the rifle's going to steal. All my rifles have got the rifles, so they're designed to kill people in close combat. So I can have a 2-foot bayonet on the end of the rifle and a steel cap to the base of the rifle, and I can beat people to death very efficiently, more efficiently than shooting them. And yet you're allowed to own that, but you can't own something that goes bang, which you can't buy ammunition for. So, you know, I don't get the logic. It just makes sense, yeah. But if you want,
alright, back to these guys.
If you want to get really into it, the Browning was not a bad weapon. It gave you a little bit more firepower. The Brownings were usually used a little bit like a sniper rifle to cover. Because it was a repeating rifle that would go crack, 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 crack. You could basically... where your normal men would need to re-click every time they bolt action. Yes, of course. They actually use the bolt action mechanic to reload. Stupid.
Isn't there a gun called bolt action?
No, they're all bolt action. Any bolt action gun is a bolt action gun that's got bolt action because it's a bolt.
That's probably where the name for this.
Yes, it's where the name for the game. That's what I just said. So your standard bolt action rifle would fire, and then you have to quickly reload and fire and reload and fire. And you had between 5 and 8 bullets in the magazine. The usefulness of a BAR is you could actually lay down slightly more fire because it's a repeating rifle. So you can go crack, 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 crack. The American M1 was a repeating rifle, which was quite a useful thing for the Americans to use in the Second World War. It meant you could fire a large amount of ammunition at the enemy, which in certain situations is very useful. You ever seen the American automatic rifle? No. Okay. I'll have to find someone who's got one. Right, so there we are, that's these, and we will move... lastly, the anti-tank rifle. The anti-tank rifle is great against stuff like tankettes and stuff.
Unless you're playing it like me, and you miss point blank.
Yeah, you can miss all the time. But yeah, the anti-tank rifle was a quite useful little infantry anti-tank weapon for the early war, because a lot of people would still drive around in little dinky tanks, little one-man tanks or two-man tanks that just trundled along with a tiny amount of armour. So given that the Polish army was only around from 1939, it's actually quite a useful thing to have on the table, because the Germans aren't clanking around in Tiger IIs. So you can pretty much take on most German tanks that you're going to face. Better trouble against the Russian stuff.
No, we used to take down just so many of them.
No, the Russians had some pretty decent tanks, pretty heavy tanks at this stage of the war.
What, like the T-28?
Yeah, you've got the T-28, which is a little bit ramshackle, but it worked.
But it's huge.
And the T-35. T-28 had 10mm of frontal armour with a face.
I prefer the Japanese tank, where you can turn the turret to machine gun and...
You can with Russian tanks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, many Russian tanks did the same. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. Here's the next one. So here we have the next little grouping. Right, or the last grouping actually. These guys, right, we've got the guy there we've already talked about. I'm sure that's a radio.
Yes,
I'm sure that's a radio.
I think it's like radioing.
I've had people say it's a camera, which would be alright. There are rules for cameras in the book, but you know, news teams and stuff.
If camera flashes at you, you go blind for one turn.
No, there were news reporters and stuff in battles and stuff, and you could always do a game where you've actually got a news team running around with you. But chances are that it's actually more. It has to be a radio, really.
Yeah, it has to be.
And
radio.
it's a command unit, so you'd think the guy would have the radio. So that's a radio. We're going to call it radio from now on. So that's it. Discussion over. Then we have the guy here who is a medic, who is awesome. I like this guy. He's basically a medic, and medics can patch troops up on the battlefield. Basically, any infantry unit taking hits, if you roll a 6, the medic patches him up so he can get back into battle. So that's quite a useful figure to have.
Basically, healing a unit.
Yeah. I haven't got the Polish book yet, which is why I'm not doing this as a big arm. I'm not starting this as a sort of project for you to view, because I need the book in order to know what I'm buying. So I'm just buying the figures and painting them up. I don't know what they do, so I'm just ad-libbing. But the book is in the post apparently, so we should get it any day now. So yeah. Medics, depending which army you've got, they usually cost about 30 points. So they are quite expensive for one figure, but very useful because they can save you.
It could make you stay in the battlefield longer.
Yeah. You can also get ambulances and stuff as well, which is cool. Then we've got the sergeant here. Nice little sergeant, pointing into the distance with a rifle in his hand. Quite a nice little chap. Then we've got another cheese board, so be careful, could get injured.
Might hit in the head.
That's the officer, he's got a pistol and a cheese board hat. So really nice figures. I think when we actually do the army, what I tend to do with the command is base the command together. So I put 2 command together with my others.
They do a Chinese dinger.
Yeah, just bear with me 1 second.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Feel free.
Unless you're on your own watching this.
Right, so I'll just show you this chap. I'll just move these guys out of the way. So
and you should be able to check this video about these for more information about this base.
Yep.
On what's the playlist called from?
I've deleted that. I've deleted that playlist. They're on my wargaming projects.
Go onto that, and you should find this video. And it should tell you all about...
Yeah, I'm going to do a new series on these because I've got the Chinese rulebook, and I'm going to go through each unit by unit, and tell you what I think about tactics and stuff, what you can do with them, how useful they are. So I'm going to redo a sort of series on each of our bolt action armies. So if you're thinking of buying that unit, I'll tell you a bit about the unit and whether or not it's worth invested in it, and how fun it would be to use that on the battlefield. So that's what I'm planning on, so I hope you're looking forward to that. Anyhow, here is a Chinese unit. They're wearing German helmets, you may see. Yeah, so that's the Chinese guys. What I've basically done here is have an officer on the base, just here, there's the officer, and aide to the officer, and then I've included an extra rifleman who is carrying the flag. You don't pay for the flag, he's just classed as an extra rifleman, but I've got this guy holding the flag because that's the sort of thing that you saw in China. So,
isn't that the flag what you stuck to in buildings, that building? Yeah,
that's the Chinese nationalist flag. That flag is the Chinese nationalist flag on top of there. So that's the guy. So that's it. This is the Polish though, so I think what I would do is maybe put the radio guy or maybe a rifleman with the Polish officer, base them on one base, because this team never splits up, so I think they'll look cool when you base them together, but I haven't really decided yet. I'm still working on it. Ideas?
Nothing. Where really are we going to be mainly fighting? with this Polish army.
Right, so that is the complete box set there. You can see it is a lovely box set. So you were saying, sorry.
Where would most of them fighting with these guys?
With your Poles?
Yes.
Okay, you can fight against the Germans when the Germany invaded Poland, obviously.
Whereabouts around?
Poland.
No, whereabouts, what kind of land will it be?
Poland, big flat plain, a bit like Norfolk. Lots of rivers and marsh.
So I'm really thinking that, for basing,
yeah,
it should be a little different to the Chinese basin we've got, just not in a city.
Well, I based these on rough dirt and grass because it was pretty generic. We're not going to be using them in winter, so we can use them in fields or we can use them in built-up areas. You won't really notice the grass too much. The Chinese I did on cobblestones and stuff because I just thought that was really cool and I wanted to do something different with it.
It was really cool actually.
Yeah, the Russians are based on the same dirt effect but with burnt grass on top, so you can use the Russians for winter or summer. Because some troops I'm going to get some winter troops for the Russians, so I can mix in the troops for different troops. It means I don't have to rebase figures and stuff. So these guys are basically in sort of autumn, so you got lots of mud on the ground and stuff and all that. So yeah, they look quite cool. Yeah, I do like them. Any more questions?
No, that's about it.
Yeah, so this is the Polish box set. We're going to be building a complete Polish army with tanks and airplanes and everything.
Like the Russians and Chinese?
Like the Russians and Chinese. We need to get up to speed with the Japanese eventually when we get around to it.
Yes, they're our favourite army.
Yeah, there are a few things I want to do with the Japanese, which they're on the back burner.
You should have done them first because they're my best troops.
Yeah.
And they're my army.
They're a large army, so, and given that I already had the Russians done, I thought I'd do the Chinese, then do the Russians, then go back to the Japanese again, because they're the first army we ever got.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I played them constantly because they're my favourite.
And this is our next project, the Polish army, which should be really good. So you can fight against the Germans, you can fight against the Russians.
Well, and what we're going to do is that you're going to play in Poles. So you're going to play the new army for a change, and I'll be playing the opposing army.
Yeah.
So Russians and Germans.
What do you think of the Polish army so far?
We've only just gone on where we've play tested them yet, so I think we'll play tested them. Well, I'll give you my own opinion.
Oh, that'd be nice.
They look pretty good so far, though. I like the way they put in lead.
Well, I think they didn't think they were going to be selling so many of them, so they didn't bring out a plastic kit.
Yeah, I don't really like plastic compared to lead because I think lead might get more detail. And I don't know why, but there's more detail in lead figures.
Yeah, yeah, basically. You do get more sharp detail in lead figures. And I do like these figures. I've got some cavalry in the post, apparently.
Oh yes, we have.
Got a complete cavalry unit in the post. I've got another box of these to paint. I'm going to be getting some other units as well to augment the army, and then we're going to start doing it as a proper army. So, should be quite good.
Yeah.
I should think a lot of people might start getting into Polish now, because
well,
it is
we're already sold out.
They're sold out.
Sold out of Polish infantry.
Warlord have sold out of Polish, so that must be selling well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they're a nice army. And let's face it, the Poles could have won very easily.
Do in fact have two fronts?
No, yeah,
no,
the two fronts
the
started in the back.
one front and then fought on another front.
Yeah, they were doing quite well. There's a misconception. Oh, the tiny little Polish army. The Polish army was bigger than the German army.
Yeah, but
it was huge.
The Germans also, as they were fighting the Polish, they were also trying. France and England just declared war on Germany after they invaded Poland.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really hard for Germany to even start to win World War II because it's fighting on three fronts. It's defending my coast against the British. He's defending from the south, from the French, and he's defending against. No, he's fighting actually. This is fighting the Poles in the north.
Yeah. So they're fighting Poland, and the French and the British are supposed to come in the rear and help the Poles. The French came over the border, saw no Germans, panicked and ran away.
Yeah.
The French battle plan and the British battle plan was to sit in trenches and fight World War I again. That was basically our battle plan, and it was rubbish.
Hence the Somme in World War I.
Yeah. The British wanted to recreate the Somme because we enjoyed it so much. We thought it was a very efficient way of getting our men killed.
Well, maybe if you try a sufficient way in a trench rather than just sitting there waiting for them to come, then you go, them to come, then you go, and lose your soldiers all the time.
Yeah. So the Poles had the biggest problem for the Poles is they don't have any defences. They don't have any actual physical massive river in the right place or a mountain range. Poland's pretty much in a big open flat wasteland. Not a wasteland, it's full of stuff, trees and buildings. But there's nowhere where you can actually formulate a defence. France had the Ardennes to protect part of its flank, which turned out to be wrong. And it had decent places to defend. Poles didn't. So their battle plan was based around mobility. So the Poles would withdraw in front of the enemy and then hit them and then withdraw again and then hit them and then withdraw again until finally the enemy was stretched out, and then they would come in the sides of the enemy and destroy them. That was the Polish battle plan. But they never got a chance to fully use the battle plan because the Russians came in the rear.
They used against Russians pretty efficiently.
Yeah, they fought the Russians. They fought the Germans. They had more reason to fight the Russians than the Germans.
I mean, I've seen a Russian movie.
Yeah.
And it's a movie about them losing. And you don't really see the people's own countries making films about them losing. You normally have films where they're winning, like certain battles where they win. But Russia actually made a movie where they lost.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of them. But I don't really see many American movies or British movies where we lose.
Well, I don't know. You don't see Russian movies about Barbarossa, do you?
Well, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. You don't. I mean, Russia lost every single battle at Barbarossa.
Exactly, that's embarrassing.
They lost 5 million men in total just during Barbarossa.
I don't really blame them. They weren't really expecting it.
No, but the reason you don't know the names of most of the battles is because the Russians just swept it under the carpet and said it never happened.
What Stalin did.
So hardly anyone's... Yes, Stalin.
Stalin. That's embarrassing.
Hardly anyone's heard of the Battle of Brody, the biggest tank battle in history.
Oh yeah, you told
Everyone
me
goes,
yeah.
Oh, Kursk. Kursk is the biggest tank battle in history.
My history teacher said Kursk.
Yeah, it's not true. It's a complete lie. But Brody is the biggest battle in history.
Why was it swept under the carpet?
Because the Russians totally and utterly lost. They got absolutely wiped out, and they lost their tank reserves. They put all their reserves into it.
They didn't cover up losing against the Poles horrendously.
They didn't really. Oh, you mean that was in the 1920s? That's a different war. But yes, they did cover that up. They were quite embarrassed about it at the time. But bear in mind, the filmmakers they're not constrained by certain things that might constrain filmmakers later on. If you're living in the Soviet Union and you're making films, which they didn't make many decent films, you can't really make films about how bad the Russians are.
People don't even make World War I, World War II games or movies anymore.
No.
Apart from Battlefield 1's coming out soon.
Yeah.
That's about it. There's nothing else coming out.
Yeah, you get World War II games where you play an American soldier and you keep killing Germans like weevils. The Germans are constantly popping up and you're killing thousands of them.
Look, I do find it weird that the character played never dies.
Yeah, in reality, if you're an American soldier, you keep your head down because the German will shoot you in the face. The Germans were very dangerous people to fight because they had snipers in every single squad, and that's how the German army worked. It had about one sniper to every 4 men.
You know, people say World War. World War is when every single country is in a World War.
Yeah.
But a lot of countries are neutral in World War I, World War II.
Yeah.
So why is it a world war?
Because most of the major important countries who write stuff were in it.
Suppose you're right.
Well, technically the First World War would have been the Spanish Succession. The War of Spanish Succession. Because literally every single country in the world fought in it in one way or another.
Was Portugal in War War II?
Yes. But only in a aiding capacity. They didn't declare war until the very end of the war, I don't believe. Like Brazil declared war in like 1945. So technically they fought in World War II.
You know Spain in World War II?
Yeah.
Were they supporting the Allies, were they supporting Axis?
Well, Spain's a funny one. When Franco rebelled against the government and fought the war, the British went to the communists, the government, and said, we're going to sell you aeroplanes, we're going to sell you Spitfires and stuff to use against Franco, in exchange for coal, because we want to get hold of your coal fields. And the government said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. And then the British went to Franco and said, hi Franco, do you know if you win, we'd like access to your coal fields. Here's some anti-aircraft guns. So the British sort of backed both sides.
Either way, regardless, Britain will get their coal fields.
Yeah.
Because both countries, whoever wins, one of them's going to have them coal fields.
Yeah, whoever wins is going to help the British.
The thing is, they don't know that Britain has actually signed up with both of them.
Yeah, so the British throughout the Second World War were allowed to dock in Spain, in Spanish harbours, and resupply their ships with Spanish coal, which is exactly what the British wanted. And so were the Axis, technically, as well. So, so even though Hitler and Mussolini seriously helped Franco win the war, Franco had no actual interest in going out and fighting world communism or anything. So he had no interest in actually... a lot of Spanish troops did go and fight for the Germans, but Spain itself never declared war. So it remained neutral throughout the war, although it did err more on the side of the Germans than the Allies, but it was edging its bets. Same as Turkey. Turkey did nothing during the Second World War because it was terrified. Turkey was absolutely terrified of Russia.
Well, yeah, Russia's next door.
Yeah, Russia was moving ever closer to Turkey, yeah.
Turkey's got a border with loads of countries.
Yeah, but Turkey and Russia have got along like two neighbours who hate each other. Turkey invaded Russia and conquered most of Russia, and then Russia took it all back and wasn't very nice when it did it. And Russia was sort of dedicated to the annihilation of Turkey. Right up to the Second World War, when it was busy doing things with Germany. So he'd had other things in his mind. Yeah. So Turkey really didn't want to get involved in the war because, in one way, if it backed the Allies, then it would lose favour with Germany, and so they didn't really want to do that.
And they didn't really care about Turkey much. They cared about that lovely Polish land that was next door to their other neighbours, the Germans, which was blocking the Germans and Russians from really getting to each other.
Well, at any point, Germany could have annexed Turkey, quite simply, because Germany occupied the territory right next to Turkey. Germany could have just flung gliders over and...
Yeah, it's going to have to go past a lot of countries.
No, it hasn't.
Because there's a lot of
Germany had troops in all those countries. All those troops were allied to Germany because they were terrified of Turkey.
What year is this?
1939.
Already? And Germany already took all them countries.
They were allied, yeah.
Away from Turkey.
Allied. Yeah, they were pretty much all allied to Germany because they were terrified of Turkey and Russia. So Germany was the nearest big army willing to fight. Bear in mind, Bessarabia was annexed by Russia just before the Second World War broke out. So Russia was moving in that direction, and all these Baltic countries were very, very worried about Russia coming up. So yeah, they were really scared. And Germany seemed to be the only country offering an olive branch. Russia wasn't. Russia annexed Bessarabia, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, tried to annex Finland, tried to annex Mongolia, did annex Mongolia. Part of Georgia it took. Basically Russia was invading everybody right up to Barbarossa. So countries were very open-minded to Germany, not because they were Nazis, but because they weren't Russians, because they were scared of Russia.
No, I'm a little confused. No War II.
Yeah.
Was Russia really on the Allies' side?
No.
Or were they on both?
No, they were on their own side. They started off the war on Germany's side. And then they changed sides when Germany invaded it. But they were never allied, never honestly allied to Germany. So, then again, neither was any other country, but Russia fought its own war, fought the Great Patriotic War, which was part of World War II, but Russia fought its own war. And if it would have been left to Russia, the reason we landed in D-Day wasn't to defeat Germany.
D-Day was a useless...
No, it wasn't to defeat Germany, it was to save France. It was to keep the Russians' hands off France. That's why we invaded. Because if we'd have just left it, we'd have lost France. So.
There are rumours about America. The reason they used the atomic bomb on Japan was to warn Russia that if
that's not even a rumour. We know that's true.
Was that if is to stop, make sure that Russia, if they ever do think of moving into Europe and conquering, not moving back, they would use the atomic bomb on them.
Yeah, to an
warning.
extent.
That's what they say they were trying. But I don't think they should have dropped the atomic bomb on Japan.
Well, no, they dropped the atomic bomb on Japan because they couldn't win militarily.
Exactly, they were losing.
Oh, they could win. It's just America was just about to call up women to the army. That's where America was.
And not just that.
It was in trouble. Its army was knackered. Its navy was mostly insane. Literally, the naval crewmen were clinically insane when they were in because of the kamikaze attacks.
Okay, come on. I mean, Japan was going to surrender anyway when Russia was going to turn on them.
Japan tried to surrender to America in 1943, but America refused to accept it. So America could at any point have signed a treaty with Japan and ended the war.
Japan was the way around.
No. Japan knew they couldn't win. They knew they couldn't win. They knew it was just a matter of time. All they wanted was to guarantee the safety of Japan, and they were willing to give up everything just as long as Japan would survive.
And so America thought they should drop atomic bombs on civilian targets. Civilian targets. Not military, civilian.
Nagasaki was a naval base.
I'm not thinking Nagasaki.
Hiroshima was the wrong city.
Exactly, it was a complete wrong city. They ran out of fuel.
They hit the wrong city. They were supposed to hit the religious capital of Japan. Which would have been suicide for America.
It's a good job they did not touch that area.
Yeah, the Japanese never surrendered. But what made the Japanese surrender wasn't the atomic bombs, it was Russia invading Japan.
Exactly.
As soon as Russia invaded... Yeah, no, it did. It invaded... It took all the Northern Islands in a matter of weeks. It destroyed the Kwantung Army, Japan's most powerful army. Basically, Japan could not fight. And so they just gave up. So even without the atomic bomb, Japan would still have surrendered.
Anyway.
They just wouldn't have signed the surrender on an American ship. They just signed it on a Russian ship instead.
Yeah, because they didn't want to surrender.
That's the only difference.
I mean, to be honest, America and Japan's really close. Anyway, I think this should be for another video.
This is the end of this video. This is the Polish army, as we've said before, and we went off on one again.
A really long one this time.
Yeah, well, it's not a proper video about the actual thing, it's just about the figures. But yeah, I like these figures. I like them. And it's going to be a really fun project.
Yeah, we did talk about behind what they actually what they did in World War II. So.
Oh, they could have done a lot more. They really did have a raw deal in World War II. They had a really bad command staff who were rather foolish. They had a lot against them, but they could also have done very well. They ended their war with there was still an intact army when the surrender came, and they could have fought on. It's just the Russians coming in the rear was the last nail. And it's a shame that the Allies couldn't have got any more help to them. Then again, what would it have been like if Poland would have invaded Germany, which was already on the cards before the Second World War broke out? The main reason Poland didn't invade Germany was because it was worried about the Russians to the rear.
They didn't trust.
They didn't trust the Russians. Poland was very itching to go to war with the Russians, but they had the Germans at the back. So, I mean, Poland had a very, very large army. 3 million men, I think. 3 million men strong army. They didn't even call the entire army up when war broke out. They were so confident they could beat the Germans. and no one believed that Germany could beat Poland. That's why we made no plans for invading Germany when Poland was at war with Germany, because we thought Poland would last for months on end, because we didn't think Poland could be beaten. Poland was a huge army. And the only benefit Germany had was having more aeroplanes. They weren't that far better than the Polish airplanes, but they did have a lot more airplanes. And they didn't and of course Germany had a lot more tanks, but the tanks were really rickety tiny tanks. Poland had tanks just as good as Germans. So it's not really as straightforward as you might think.
Anyway,
right,
if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below if you think we should do some one-off videos on history on World War II or World War I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from him.